You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate you guys for trusting the process. Make sure you like, comment, and also subscribe to the channel. Now let's get to the content. So today we got NBA YoungBoy in the building. So he went to court today, and guess what? He got $100,000 bond. Now his lawyers must be a bad man because he got so many charges, but it seems like his lawyer is one of the best that money can buy. So NBA YoungBoy should be out maybe tonight or early in the morning. But I have the full footage of him in court today, and it's surprising because he's in Utah, but the judge actually showed lenient favor and took into consideration what the lawyer said.
Is now in session. The Honorable Judge Spencer D. Walk is presiding. You may be seated.
All right, good morning. Let's call the case of State of Utah versus Kentrell Deshaun Galden. Case 241100468. Counsel, please state your names for the record.
Aaron Jossie for the state. Drew Finling and Zach Finling on behalf of Mr. Galden.
All right, we're here today for a preliminary hearing and a bail hearing. I've had the opportunity to meet with the attorneys in chambers, and it does appear that there has been some type of arrangement reached between the parties. Mr. Finley, would you like to go ahead and state that for the record, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, counsel for the state and myself have been in negotiation really since yesterday, but throughout this morning, and I've explained those negotiations to Mr. Galden. We are going to waive a preliminary hearing in this matter. In exchange for that, a bond will be set at $100,000. Mr. Galden will be able to use a commercial company to make that bond. That will be an aggregate bond covering everything in total, as contained in the charging instrument.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Finley. Mr. Keller, does that accurately represent the agreement that's been reached between the state and Mr. Galden?
Yes, it does, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Galden, have you had enough time to speak to your attorneys about this decision to waive your right to your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
All right. Do you understand that the standard at a preliminary hearing is a much lower burden of proof that the government would have to meet than at trial? So instead of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, it's a lower burden of proof, which is there a reasonable belief that a crime was committed by you? And the court has to view all the evidence that it would receive in a light most favorable to the government, to the prosecution. Understanding that legal standard and having had discussions with your attorneys, do you hereby waive your right to your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
All right. The court finds that Mr. Galden has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to his preliminary hearing. He will be bound over for trial on all the charges set forth in the information, the charging document in this case. Bail will be set through stipulation of the parties at $100,000. That will be bondable. And in talking to the attorneys, it sounds like they would like to set this out for an arraignment at a later point in time. Mr. Finley, would you like to go ahead and articulate anything specific related to that?
Yes, Your Honor. As discussed in chambers, and I explained to Mr. Galden, even if it's set up for arraignment, say in 60 days, the court has made it clear through discussion with counsel, if there is a resolution well before then, we're welcome to come back before Your Honor at any point in the future.
Okay, very good. So we'll set Mr. Galden's arraignment out in about 60 days. That arraignment would take place through WebEx. We'll have Mr. Golden brought here to the courthouse, and then if Mr. Finley would like to appear remotely for that hearing, he may do so. Also, if the attorneys reach some sort of resolution prior to those 60 days expiring, then just reach out to Angie and we'll get that on my calendar in a timely fashion. Angie, a date about 60 days out for that arraignment on a Monday morning, probably. July 1st, at what time? 9? Okay, so that would be July 1st at 9 a.m. or 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time, whatever you'd prefer.
Either one.
Okay, let's do 9 a.m. Does that work for the state?
It does, yes.
All right, Mr. Golden, your arraignment will be July 1st, 9 a.m. You'll be brought over from the Cache County Jail, assuming that you're still incarcerated. If not, you'd be able to appear remotely for that hearing as well, or appear in person, whatever your preference would be. Is there anything else that needs to be stated on the record here today, counsel?
On behalf of Mr. Golden. Nothing further from the state.
All right, with that, we'll conclude this hearing. Court is adjourned.
I'm glad this young man could get out of jail, but I hope he actually gets some therapy and also go to some drug rehab classes, because he really need to get off those drugs. Now, this is not saying that he won't go to the federal penitentiary, because he still have that federal gun case that's still going on over his head. But I wish this young man the best, and I wish he gets on the right track, because he living a life that many teens and many young men are dreaming of. You know, all the money, all the fame, but that still doesn't matter when you have past trauma. So he needs to go to maybe a therapist and work some things out, and also definitely get off those drugs. But hey, this is Checking and Jiving TV, and let me get the hell up out of here with my little channel.